Hey everybody, welcome to Steel Wars. I am Steel Saunders and I do love Star Wars, and we are joined on this Hyper Chat Monday night. Oh no. Oh, I just had like one window open and the video was playing.
Uh-huh.
And there's nothing I can't stand more.
Oh, okay.
Because it plays on like a 20-second delay or something.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I closed all the windows from where I'd posted it, and there was one, and I was like, ah.
Okay.
I'm totally thrown off. How you doing, Hawes? From Blue
I'm
Hawes
doing
Podcast?
all right. Doing all right, buddy. How are you?
Pretty good. Let me ask you this: have you seen? Have you gone to the cinemas? The theater.
No, I did not go see Revenge of the Sith.
Are you gonna?
If it's still around this coming weekend, I might.
Yeah, isn't it around till like May the 4th?
Oh, then that will work out perfectly.
Like, isn't that why they bring it out?
Well, I think it's more because of the 20th anniversary.
Yeah, but it's like May the 4th, they do a re-release.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
We're just near the Academy Museum, where there's like this thing that the designer hates, that it's called like a Death Star, but it just looks like a Death Star, the theater.
Uh-huh.
Do you know this thing that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think you've shown it to me before.
Yeah. So anyway, they have good things there, and like R2-D2 is appearing on May the 4th, but they're showing the choices of movies. So I think they get like a slightly wider selection. It's The Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith. Oh no, I think it's Phantom Menace, Empire Strikes Back, and The Rise of Skywalker.
No Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look at that up, actually. Wait there.
That's a little odd that they've got Star Wars, but not specifically the one that's been released.
But it's the Academy Museum, so it's sort of like, you know, it does its own thing.
Yeah, well, that thing needs to be evaluated. Let's be honest here.
What do you mean?
I mean, you could maybe drop one of those for Revenge of the Sith, which is having its 20-year anniversary.
God, you really... But it's up the road. We can go see it elsewhere. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, hey, listen, you could hit up 4 different Star Wars movies in the theater. That's pretty sick.
All right, here we go. Allow cookies. What's on today? What's on? This is taking way too long. We're going to talk about Andor, everyone. Which Hawes is... He thinks it's way... He's bracing himself. How have you enjoyed the first 3 episodes, Hawes?
I really liked them. It was a lot of Star Wars to watch in one sitting, though.
Yeah, well, why can I... Oh, maybe I've got tickets. Jackie still hasn't seen them all yet.
Oh, really?
She just can't deal.
So it's very dense, and it's a lot. It's 3 hours of Star Wars.
And, you know, like we only can start watching like from 9 p.m.
Right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? All right, let's go May the 4th. What do we got here at the Academy Museum? Oh, scroll the page. But she's loving it, but she just can't survive.
So how many... She's seen the first one, the first 2?
1.5.
Okay.
Yeah, what an interesting selection. So you can do this at 11 a.m. on Sunday, May the 4th. You can see episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Then at 3 p.m., you can see episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can finish the day at 7:30 with Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
No rhyme or reason.
What a dizzying combo of movies.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, no rhyme or reason. Like, the first one of the prequel trilogy, the middle one of the original trilogy, and the final.
Well, the rhyme and reason is it's the beginning, the middle, and the end.
but still, odd choice.
Oh, but tonally,
All over the
wow.
place. All over the place.
But I did see that this where did I have this Revenge of the Sith thing? It it made like $25 million in America.
Yeah, I saw that. They keep re-releasing that thing, and eventually it'll cross $1 billion.
What's it at now?
Like 890 million or something.
It's the second highest grossing
Movie of last week, right?
It becomes the second highest grossing re-release ever. Really? I thought like Star Wars Special Edition, like, didn't that, like, how much did that make?
I honestly don't know, buddy.
Because it was like crazy that it made at the time. Star Wars.
Is there some sort of exception that they make for that and consider it like a different movie as opposed to a re-release? The special edition versions?
Mm. I don't know. Okay, so this is. I'm not sure. Oh, wait. Okay, so this is very interesting. Sorry. I've just found out that in Australia in 2014, there was a May the 4th marathon that took in $3,400,000.
Okay. Okay.
In Australia on May the 1st.
Okay.
So there you go. How do I get back to this Star Wars one? So Star Wars Special Edition, its domestic gross was 138 million. But I guess it's like considered a different film.
I think it has to be, right? Because that would. Well, okay, so if Revenge of the Sith is the second highest grossing re-release, what's the first?
Titanic.
Okay, mid.
Your heart doesn't go on?
Not one bit.
You're not king of the world?
Definitely not.
Don't be like that. So apart from that and Andor, not much Star Wars news, but I know you're not a a wrestling person by any degree. But there was an interesting Star Wars reference in wrestling. Do you know who this is? Toni Storm. She's a wrestler for AEW wrestling. Okay. And where is and her gimmick is that like she thinks she's an old-timey Hollywood actress.
Okay.
And so she appeared at the Turner Classic Movies Film Festival where they were showing Empire Strikes Back this week.
Okay. Okay.
And
oh my God. What is on his head now?
Wait there, I've got to. How do I make that bigger on this? This is amazing. So it's describe what this is for the podcast listener.
Okay, so this lady, Toni Storm, yeah, that has to be her, right? She's standing in the foreground. She looks all made up like an old-timey Hollywood actress. And then just in the background, passing by, is a very Yoda on an Empire grumpy version of George Lucas. I'm all over the place because look at him.
He looks like the cantankerous neighbor.
He does. He does. He looks like he just saw the pilot episode for Star Wars Detours.
I think he looks like if he just talked to me after a screening of Star Wars Detours.
He looks like someone just asked him about the special edition. Or the, not special edition, the Christmas, the holiday special. Yeah.
Yeah. He has a way. He has a way.
He looks like somebody asked him if Luke Skywalker is married to Mara Jade.
Oh my stars. So there you go.
Wow.
So yeah, let's talk Andor, Cassian Andor. That I yeah, this the 3 episode a week thing.
It's a lot.
You can keep it.
I agree too, buddy, and I love getting a lot of Star Wars, but that is a lot of very dense Star Wars with a lot of dialogue. And like, I feel like these episodes already kind of require more than one watch to catch everything, you know? It's a lot.
The and the thing is like to do it 1 week is one thing, but we're going to do it 4 weeks in a row. But insanely good.
Insanely good. And I'm just going to go ahead and do a bit of a victory lap. Cyntha definitely killed those folks in the first season.
She killed everyone.
We got the only confirmation I need, and Will still didn't want to hear it. I was like, surely he can't be like, no, she definitely did it. Not after these episodes, but nope, he's holding strong.
Dude, so at the end, when all their names, the Cuz,
yeah,
Cuz Moth, like eyeballs her. Are they broken up now, or are they just like?
It seems like they're broken up. That's the context. That's sort of what I thought.
I sort of felt like they weren't, but she was just on a mission, and it was just like wherever she was like she just had no idea. It was just like they probably hadn't spoken for like 6 months, or
it could be that as well. But it seemed like maybe they were broken up to me. I don't know.
But yeah, Val confirmed it for me. She is just like, oh, the angel of death is here.
I woke up to so many text messages from folks being like, dang, you're right. Cyntha did kill that family in season 1.
Just as a pattern of violence. How do you reckon she would have done
it? To this guy?
Yeah, because it's sort of like, you know, like it sort of reminds me of like the mob movies. You know, like all the Goodfellas and the Godfather.
Maybe she just opens the door and pushes him out.
That's when you're like somewhere from behind. But she was in front. So do you think like, because we're jumping forward a year, do you think there's going to be some just little comment about
how he died? I think they
or
have
how
to.
He's missing, or
yeah, I think they have to. I think they have to, through dialogue or something, confirm that he is no longer with us. And we know who did it. And we know who's been doing it through this whole series.
But see, this is the beauty of watching a TV show. Right. It's just like, oh, you're good. Here's a loose cannon. Cleaned up that mess.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, buddy. Round about the second episode, I was like, this guy's not making out of this arc. He needs to calm his ass down, or he is not making it to episodes 4, 5, and 6 for sure.
Well, they're all on notice. Chapman's got a good one. Take Homer died on his way home to his home planet. Uh-oh. Poochie, we hardly knew you. What about going right back? That I think was he maybe only in the first episode, but Mendo.
Yes.
Wasn't that just
Real good.
intriguing?
This man, he said, I'm showing up and I'm doing a lot of hand acting in this first episode.
Yeah, I saw an interview with him with Deirdre.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Um, and he was like, regaling with like, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fun out there. And I'm like, yeah, I bet you did.
I bet you did, buddy. It sure seems like it.
Bet you did, Mendo.
I was not expecting him to show up so early, but right away.
Mm. It's so what a plot. Brutal.
So I think
Need
it's safe to
because they
say
because they need to mind the planet core.
they need calcite. Isn't that what it calcite? Calcite is what they say
Yeah.
they whatever. It's clear they're working on some sort of figuring out an energy source for the Death Star, right? So you can see how it starts there and then it continues down the road until eventually they're mining kyber crystals on Jeddah.
Mm.
Wild to think that it's 4 years out from A New Hope and they still don't have an energy source for that big bastard.
Have we seen it yet?
The Death Star? Nope.
No, because I keep thinking of like like in the trailers and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Imagine like like the day before it's finished, like having to sweep all the dust, like at the end of the construction site, where you just
Mm-hmm.
like.
Having to clean everything up and polish all those floors. Mm-mm.
I saw this video on YouTube, which is the home of videos
Mm-hmm.
on the internet. And it was about the opening of Disneyland
Okay.
and just how unfinished it was like 3 days beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
It was insane. Like,
I've probably either seen that exact video or a very similar video.
and they had like a voiceover by some of the Imagineers, like sort of going over the footage and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it just seemed like unimaginable.
Right? It seemed very stressful to be
And George
honest.
Lucas was there on the opening day, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. That's the legend.
That's what they tell me. Um, yeah, that whole plot. It was quite delicious. It was very well, that's what I always feel like the Mandoverse like shows like comic book shows,
Mm-hmm.
and Andor's like the novel show.
Yeah. I
Like,
can
do you
see
know what I
that.
mean? Like that seems
Yeah.
like something that you'd read about in
There'd be pages and pages of all these Imperial agents
in a,
talking to each other.
a hardback.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Soft inside though. Did you know that?
I did. Be interesting if they figured out how to make hard pages in a hardback.
I think it's called an iPad.
That's fair.
Why is he stealing the TIE fighter?
That's a good question. Probably just for spy type purposes so they can figure out what kind of capabilities this new TIE fighter is going to have. Unless they plan to use it on some sort of mission. But you'd have to imagine a test TIE fighter is pretty well. Like, I can't imagine you can just slip that in on an Imperial mission and go unnoticed.
Yeah, it's a pretty hotted up piece of equipment. It does seem pretty sweet though. I love the way he reversed it.
I know. I thought that was cool too. It almost seemed like it worked like a motorcycle.
I was wondering what the purpose of taking like what the gain of that would be.
So if it's an Imperial prototype, right? You got to figure there is some value in having that in your hands if you're the rebellion, right? Like you could probably research its weapon systems and things like that.
I'm asking the internet, why did Andor steal the TIE fighter? I don't know, but apparently Andor just changed the origin of a deadly starfighter.
Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Wow. So it's from like a 90s video game or something?
I believe it's initially from TIE Fighter, the video game, and then isn't it also the same one that's in Rebels?
Maybe. What a room up the back, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little more spacious than your standard TIE Fighter.
What you got there, Hawes?
I'm looking to see if I can find an answer to that question.
Tippy type. The were you shocked at the new love connection?
Siro and Dedra?
Yeah.
Not one bit.
I was pretty stunned that they'd made it official.
I mean, like when it happened, I was like, "Oh, okay, so we're going there already." They're living together and stuff. Loved all those scenes, by the way.
It definitely seemed like they'd go out for brunch on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So did that guy, the guy that ran the farm,
Yes.
so he ended up turning him in?
Mm-mm. Uh-uh. I think Bratzo did that whole show to get like that whole like
Oh, to get him off the hook.
yeah, because that's when like they have him handcuff Bratzo. He looks at the dude and they give each other that nod. And if you also notice when Bratzo starts going off on that dude looks mystified, like he has no idea why this is going. He's like, "What?" Do you... So I think it was him watching that dude's back because he had watched over them for so long.
But does that let him off the hook?
Yeah, because I think that for far as he knows, that these guys have no connection. Because I think the worry is that they'll somehow connect Bratzo and Bix and the whole crew to what happened on Ferrix at the end of season 1, and that separates that dude from that. For all he knows, that these guys are just quote unquote illegals that showed up to do work, not hide out from the Empire.
Got you. Interesting. So is BMO out of it now? What goes on with him?
That's a good question. They better go back and get him, man. I don't like that they just left him behind.
What about that Chandelian wedding? All those circles
and all kinds of rituals and stuff. Had to hike a mountain. Mm-mm.
Yeah, you keep the hike.
Yeah, the Mike.
I was picturing like when you get to a wedding and you're just like, yeah, I'm just kicking back.
And then they're like, so the day before the wedding, we're gonna hike up this mountain. Well, yeah, I hope there's ramps. Otherwise, I'm staying at the hotel.
How many beers can we take with us?
Yeah, for real. I'm gonna have to be real gummied up to go on a hike up a mountain at a wedding.
I kept thinking about is it hard to remember all the
rituals and steps and stuff?
Yeah, like if you're a Chandrilan, like is it just like second nature that you know all the all the movements, or
Probably for people of their stature, yes, because I kind of got the vibe that this is not something that they do. Like she even mentions, like, I can't believe, or I guess maybe it's Perrin that's like, to see my daughter here embracing our old traditions and stuff. I have a feeling that this is not an everyday Chandrillan wedding, right?
normal ones have less circles?
You got to hope, and less hiking. More than anything, less hiking.
The old Mon, she was lit.
One of the best performances I've ever seen in Star Wars was Mon Mothma in these 3 episodes.
Do you know what?
So
Do
good.
you know what she was?
Hmm.
Cooked. When she's on the dance floor, I was just like, "What's in those drinks?"
Well, you ready for a little bit of a soda report?
Yeah, right.
Apparently, the liquid that they were drinking was Iron Brew, right? And Iron Brew is a Scottish soda. It's like made in Scotland. It's very associated with Scotland.
Wait. So in real life, they were drinking
Yes, that's what was
on
in
the set.
drink. Yes.
Okay.
She mentioned that it was a drink called Iron Brew and that she thought it looked radioactive. I tried that soda pop on the show. That was one of our soda reports recently. I
What's
got
it
a
like?
soda. It's pretty good.
Did you start like just tripping out and getting into the music?
No, I wish. That was after the podcast.
The yeah, I was just like, is it in the drink? Is she
As someone who has
she going to the bathroom all the time? Like, what's up?
as someone who has a lot of issues with anxiety and anxiety attacks, these episodes, especially that last episode, really sort of captured that feeling of having an anxiety attack in a public situation. You know what I mean?
That
And
music
then
at the end was so good.
it was. Oh, I'm gonna make some memes off of those scenes.
The apparently like the lyrics that everyone was shouting is like the name of that beach planet.
It's
Where
also we hear that song or maybe a different version of that same song on that beach planet.
yeah, so it's like Will Smith's like
Welcome to Miami.
yeah.
Yeah,
That,
yeah,
that's so
yeah,
good.
yeah. I know, right?
Um how about big call Mon Mothma going to the daughter like
You don't
uh
have to do this.
if you if you want to get out of it,
We could totally.
like you want to get out of it, yeah. Like
And it really bummed me out because we saw that they didn't have Mon Mothma and her daughter didn't have the best relationship right in the first season. And then as this season started, it seemed like they were getting along a little better, right? So she went to see her when she was crying and stuff. And then that all came tumbling down when she was like, I wish you were drunk. And she was like, bet. Give me about 20 minutes and I will be.
yeah, that was just such a massive call. And then I'm just paging across through this episode. What's it? Cyril's mom? Do you know who she reminds me of?
Who?
Um, Mel Brooks in Spaceballs
Okay.
as Yaddle. Is it
Mm-hmm.
Yaddle?
Mm-hmm.
What was
Yogurt.
this? Yogurt. It just she's just little and
Mm-hmm.
but I just love that Deidre's so hardcore.
Oh, I loved when she read her when she like read her cards and just laid it all out. I was like, man, you guys are really like making me like a bad Imperial character, aren't you? I love
Well,
this.
I love it because it's just like you don't know who you like.
Who do you think you're messing with?
Krennic goes to this lady for like advice.
Like, yeah.
That was pretty amazing to see them
Mm-hmm.
interacting. Do you think they're going to stay? Like they seem like allies at the moment. Do you think that's going to?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we will see more interactions between them for sure.
But do you think they'll stay like on the same?
I'll think so, especially if she's, you know, a tool that he can use to get the Death Star project up and running and finished.
It's going to be a lot of like death,
Yeah.
right? We had a couple go already. What do you reckon, Siro and Dedra? What do you reckon happens to them?
So, okay. We know that this whole Gorman massacre situation is going to be part of this season, right? And they sort of set that up in the first episode. So I looked into it, and the Gorman massacre takes place about 2 years before A New Hope. That's our second to last. That's next week, right? That's what we'll see there. I kind of wonder if
so episodes 6 to 9,
7, 8, and 9.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I kind of wonder if that goes so south and poorly that it makes her have a change of heart. Like if she finally sees something really messed up at the Empire's hands. But that's kind of hard to imagine.
Yeah, I don't know, because she seems like
all in.
Yeah, she doesn't like it'd be. She knows so much about it. It'd be hard for her to like. Yeah.
I think
because that's why just totally jumping a crazy tangent. That's why I always thought with Kylo Ren is if you're gonna like redeem him at the end, he needed to be a bit more adjacent to the Death Star and Stark, the exploding of the planets and all that. He sort of he sort of should have been a bit more like separated from it, like so he just had a bit more denial, like just a plausible
deniability.
They were sort of just doing their own thing over there, and that was not my concern. And
I think for sure Luthen and his assistant do not make it out of the series. I think for a fact they don't make it out.
I would sadly concur.
Yeah.
What about if the assistant does, and she's like the lady with the headphones on in like Echo Base?
All right, now we're talking. You know, I was thinking that. You know how you keep saying, "Oh, Tony Gilroy they should get him to do a series or a movie set between A New Hope and Empire." I was kind of thinking, real good title for that might be Echo Base.
Echo. It should be called Wampa.
Okay. Just a whole series about from the Wampa's point of view while he's watching the rebels set up the base on his planet.
Well, if Andor's called Andor, then it should be called Rykeen or something. Dak
Attack. That would be sick. And then Dedra and Cyril, I can't really say.
Sorry.
I feel like they might also not make it out.
Yeah, it's just hard to see why they'd be killed.
Yeah, right.
Because do you know what I mean? It's like we don't. It's 3 years away, so
yeah.
Who knows what they're up to? You know.
And then who else would we?
Wait, I've just got a question. When the assistant is talking to Andor, the communication, Andor turns it off. Yeah, it's not like she gets like.
Well, and then she tries to raise him again and gets cut off or jammed. The signal gets jammed or something.
So she is getting jammed.
I think, I think that's.
It's not that she said Andor get off the frequency and he just went, all right, fine.
No, he hung up on her because she wouldn't answer about what was going on.
So was she getting jammed, or did Andor
I
hang
think
up?
I think it was both. I think he hung up. She
No,
tried.
you can't have both.
I think that's what happened.
That's too close together. That doesn't seem plausible.
Okay. Because she's like, hey, and or whatever, whatever she says, and then you start hearing that interference, and it goes dead.
Google that one for me.
Okay. What's that character's name?
I don't know. It sounds like Leia. It's like Lidra or something.
Okay, let's see.
What was with the mum's outfit? That orange thing with the lines on it.
She kind of dresses a little wild in general, right? From what I remember.
Yeah, man.
Man, when she was like, and stop bringing up Uncle Harlow, I looked him up, and he's got a record. Loved it.
That was pretty good. Uncle Harlow reminds me of who was that guy that he worked on? Was it Lloyd Braun? That was like on Seinfeld. He was like George's cousin or something. And
oh, right. Yeah.
Always getting referenced.
Her name is Clea. Or Clea.
Yeah. Well, see, that sounds like Leia.
Yeah, it does.
Right again.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Hame says, my guess Clea lives, but ultimately gets played by the Bothans.
Ooh, what if she is a Bothan?
Bothans are aliens, though. Is that still canon? Weren't they?
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Didn't they used to be horse heads or something?
Yeah, they kind of got horse heads.
It's pretty sick.
Oh, look at them just working on a farm in Alabama, trying to mind their business.
Just doing their thing. The scene when he where is he? Let's see if I can get it up here.
Do you not? Let me ask you a question.
On the bed, just like
do you not feel like he could have heard that whole conversation with Dedra reading his mom the business, giving his mom the business?
Yeah.
I would be having a way better reaction than that.
What do you reckon about that bed?
I don't know.
It doesn't look too comfy.
It sure doesn't. That's what I was going to say. First off, that is not enough pillow at the head of the bed.
Bro, exactly what I was going to say.
Like, I have to, like, for my sleeping situation with this big old Funko Pop ass head I have, there has to be layers of pillows in a specific configuration. That ain't cutting it.
When it comes to pillows, more is more.
Yeah, and is this thing is laying on? Is that the cup? Like, is that what they get under? Is that the blanket? Is that just a mattress pad? What is that?
I don't know. It seems so circular that it feels like your legs might hang off if you were. I don't know. It just doesn't seem.
See, this is. I want to see an interview with this guy and somebody ask him that question. How was that bed? Was it comfortable?
What about this dude?
Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. That's what he reminds me of.
So the dad, the whatever he is, the Duke or whatever, the sus mobster guy, that like ball of Chandrilla or whatever, and is like they were stolen, and it's just so. And now you guys can have one in your lounge room,
right? Yeah,
and here's an LCD TV as well. Take the TV.
I loved that backstory though, that there were these massive monuments that were all stolen by the. I always pronounce this wrong. The Ratikans or the Rakitans or whatever. That's from the Old Republic, by the way. That whole concept. This
Interesting.
guy. Hate this guy. This guy looks like he's going to try to sell me a salad shooter on an infomercial at 3 a.m.
He's just so stressed. What's this guy's name?
Dickhead McGee. I don't know this guy's name. I don't know.
But did you dislike him last season?
I vividly remember being like, this is using this dude to try and get out of this situation is a bad idea. This is a bad idea.
He seems very tanned.
Yeah. And this is the thing. If he had just brought it up that one time to Wan Mothma and was like, yeah, we'll have our meeting. But he just had to keep coming by and being an asshole. And she was like, we're going to have a meeting, bro. Let me find a number. And now he's dead somewhere on Chandrilla. Cyntha's got even more blood on her hands.
Whenever he sidled up, it was just like,
Don't say
oh,
some. Don't. Yeah. When he first showed up and was talking about how his wife left him and all that, I was like, I'm getting sleazebag vibes from this guy.
yeah, the white left him thing was just like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh.
And then were you touched by the young love, Hawes?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was pretty effective considering it wasn't like a major feature of the story leading into it. You know, like it wasn't a big part of these episodes, but I thought like that scene was really effective.
Oh, let's bounce back. What did you think of the whole storyline with Andor and those rebels?
I've seen people kind of poo-pooing that, but I really liked it. Like for one, major Lost vibes. That goes a long way with me. Two, I thought there was some legitimately really funny stuff in those scenes. Like when they're trying to move the TIE fighter and the guy's like, what are you going to do? Shoot the pilot? You're going to be in a real great spot then. Like, I just thought that whole part. And then it even had some horror movie elements to it mixed in where they're like crawling around in the fog and finding feet and boots and stuff. I really like that stuff. And then it was Yavin.
That reveal to me is so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, look, guys, it's the planet.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I love the idea. Like,
and everyone's like, yes, the planet.
well, it's funny to me because, like, you know, when you see Yavin in A New Hope, it's very organized. It's a rebellion like a rebellion military base. That just started off with two groups of dipshits fighting with each other. I think that is so funny.
But the shot how it mirrors the other
Mm-hmm.
shots is like
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good.
it's pretty tight. I can't wait to see more of that base like every year.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because you remember in Rogue One when you got to see different angles and stuff, and it's like
Oh, are we
it's
going to
not
get to see the
it's not
inside of one of those temples before they put all the stuff in it? I
it's
would
not
love
just a
that.
warehouse with black sheets at the end.
Yeah.
Um, how they got all those? They made the look like there was all those X-wings and Y-wing fighters in A New Hope in that hangar. It's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Love a good matte painting in the original trilogy.
Oh,
Like when Han Solo and Lando are saying bye to each other in Return of the Jedi, and there's the giant matte painting of the Millennium Falcon behind them.
the not the most realistic thing you've ever seen though.
I don't care. I love it. I have your word. Not a scratch.
And then it goes to that really odd angle of Lando going, ha ha. And it was like, bro, don't even try to tell me that was not filmed 4 months later. There is no chance. So yeah, it'd be great to see a sweet temple coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Oh,
we've got this Luthen Mon Mothma chat.
When he's like, "Isn't that precious for you?" Isn't that what he says or something like that?
Nice. How convenient for you.
How convenient. Yeah, she's like, "I don't know what you mean."
Oh, brutal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Look at him. He said in the press that he didn't have a he doesn't come back with another mega monologue in this season, but I failed to believe it.
That's a bummer if it's not the case. But he's still bringing the house down with his lines, though. Mm.
Tell me this. Would you consider it a spoiler, right, to be told that someone that could possibly appear in the show doesn't appear in the show?
No.
Yeah, I don't really think either. I'm not going to say what it is, but I saw someone complain about that the other day, and I was like, "Is that a spoiler?"
Was it Darth? Because I've seen a lot of people talking about. Was it Darth Vader? Because Tony Gilroy did a interview where he was like, "No, we're not using Vader in this because he sucks up all the attention in the scene, and it's hard to write for him. And trust me, I've written for him." Which leads me to believe that maybe Tony Gilroy wrote that line, "Don't choke on your own aspirations," when Darth Vader's force choking Krennic. Which, if it's the case, rare mark against Tony Gilroy, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think like Mendo redeems it with that grin.
Yeah, oh no, that line is awfully on the nose.
I don't know. I reckon Mendo's grin redeems.
That's fair. That's fair.
He knows he's gotten to it.
So if it was, is it Vader that you're talking about that doesn't appear?
Spoilers, Hawes.
Well, that was in a Tony Gilroy interview. To me, that is fair game.
It actually wasn't Vader. So
Okay, cool. Okay.
Dr. Evazan.
Oh, I'm gonna be upset if he doesn't appear at this point. I have a feeling we're going to Jeddah in that last episode, right? Him and Ponda Baba are there. I can already see the gears turning in your head where all of a sudden now you think it is a funny, good idea to have them show up.
How did you know?
'Cause I just saw it. I saw the light bulb go off and your facial expression change.
No, because that's like the only place they should turn up again.
Is on Jeddah again? Yeah, I think.
Well, it's the same planet.
Exactly. Yeah.
That'd be sick.
They're just walking around in the background or at a
That
bar.
That would redeem the first cameo.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's saying a lot.
Like, imagine, like, you know how I think you remember this. Remember in the Book of Boba Fett, how like you thought you were going to watch a show about Boba Fett one day, but it was a surprise episode of The Mandalorian. Remember that?
Yeah. Boy, do I.
Imagine like episode like 11 of Andor. They're on Jeddah, and it's just
a whole episode about Dr. Evazan and Ponda Boba.
Yeah, just about them. Like, you know, they like do operations on people and do weird experiments and stuff.
What if they are who mess up Saul Guerrero and he's got to use that oxygen mask?
Oh!
He goes in for some sort of procedure and they mess him up.
Oh my God, this has never been more apt.
I'm just too excited. Wow.
Oh man, I'm just epic. Oh,
This guy. Of all the hateable characters in Star Wars for almost 50 years of Star Wars, this dude shows up and goes straight to the top. The casting notice for this guy has to be a face that makes you want to punch him endlessly.
He looks like an evil Thunderbird.
He kind of does. He does have a little bit of a ventriloquist dummy vibe to him.
Man, imagine getting that. Like, you got this role in Star Wars. And
That was my point. You get cast in Star Wars and you're like, holy crap, I'm in Star Wars. And they're like, oh, we're going to send you your pages. You're an Imperial officer. And you're like, rather be a good guy, but.
Oh, no, I'm evil.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the pages come in. I would quit the business. I'm out.
Well, everyone, they wanted their adult Star Wars.
And then it appears that some people, when they said that, they just meant, oh, all I want is Darth Vader chopping people up for 2 hours.
Blood.
Yeah. Yeah. Not actual, like, stakes or relevant conversations or, you know what I mean? Like,
It was shocking.
like, very shocking. And when he first showed up in, was it the second? Because they all bleed together. Was it the second episode where he first shows up?
I think so, yeah.
That's the vibes that I got from the character were those vibes that this dude's like the worst. He's a rapist. But I didn't expect it to go as far as it did. It was shocking, for sure.
Yeah, it's sort of it's not a word I ever thought I'd hear.
I mean, it took me by complete surprise.
The and I probably also wouldn't think that they almost got a swear word in, and or did they get a swear word in?
Yeah, Cassian got the second shit in Star Wars in the first episode. When he backs into the hangar, he goes, "Oh shit."
Does he?
He does. I rewound it.
But is it Marla, the mum?
Yes, they almost dropped the F-bomb.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it like it doesn't fit my vision of what Star Wars, the tone it would be in. Do you know what I mean?
But it fits this.
But it fits this.
Yeah, and I was talking to someone and I was like, to say it doesn't belong in Star Wars is kind of losing the point, I think. To me, does it belong in Return of the Jedi? No. Right? But for this and the stakes and the tone and, everything that they're going with, the messages they're portraying about like authoritism. Am I saying that wrong? Probably sound a lot smarter if I nailed the word, but it just, and then to see people be like, there's no way this would ever happen in the Empire.
And there's nothing better than when people say things that happen on Earth constantly throughout history wouldn't happen in space.
No, in a franchise that was built around mirroring, at the time, modern day issues, but in a space fantasy setting, right? And to think that, yeah, I just, like, now the one thing I'll say, I do agree with folks that say that there should have maybe been some sort of warning, right? I think that's a fair criticism, but to say it doesn't belong and all this stuff, like, to me, that
So it doesn't have a warning at the start at all, like.
I don't know, because I never pay attention to those. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm sure at the start of one of them it says like flashing lights or something like that.
Well, and I saw someone talking, I think, about the warning that this episode did have, and it said something like intense violence, which that's not adequate.
No.
Because you could say that about all kinds of different Star Wars stuff, right? There's some pretty intense violence. Um,
Yeah, well, like the riot is intense violence.
Absolutely. Two totally different things.
But yeah,
Um,
there's obviously a different, type of,
like,
violence and how it affects people,
yeah, absolutely.
victims of. Um, yeah, definitely warning.
Yeah, I could see that seems like a bit of a fumble to me because, for one, you know, it's the first time something like that has been so blatant in Star Wars, right? That I think a warning is appropriate. But my goodness, seeing Bix smash that dude in the head with a hammer couple of few times, awesome. And then Cassian showing up and blowing all the Imperials away with this TIE fighter, very good time.
The It was a pretty satisfying gonk to the head, and then on the way out when he hit his head, that was nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he walks down the stairs,
Uh-huh. Yep.
and I was reading a thing with Tony Gilroy that that like that event sort of like awakens her, like it sort of snaps her out of her malaise.
Yeah, I saw something about that too. I didn't have a chance to read, but I did see some like quotes from that interview that
Because
sort of solidifies things for her, I think might be the.
yeah, well, I see if I can pull it up, but there's just an awesome shot of her.
You know what? I just realized, in the trailers for Andor, you see her sort of assassinating folks at a couple of different scenes in the trailers. That's sick. I just kind of put that together.
I love that. It's like, oh yeah, she's involved in some upcoming assassinations.
Love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This shot of her right there, where you think that the other guy is going to shoot. You know how there's that other Imperial out the front,
Yeah. Yeah, that's Guy.
and you think it's the other guy that's like out in the wheat fields that's going to shoot him, and then
Nope.
but look at her face.
She's a phenomenal actress. Oh,
Uh,
the floating speaker. Love this thing. You just wait. Got it. I've got the scenes downloaded. Just need to start putting different music in.
What do you think with the retro technology of the TIE fighter compared to the TIE fighters in A New Hope? The targeting sensors on this one's just a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, maybe that's why they need to steal it, right? It's got a better targeting sensor. It's a prototype. The regular TIE fighters you see in A New Hope, those are mass production, right? Those are the Honda Accord of the galaxy. No, they're like the Kia of the galaxy.
Oh, oh, what about this?
Oh, this man's last ride in an Uber. Everybody's going to take their last Uber ride one day, whether it's just because you just never ride Uber again or it's your last Uber ride.
Check you, bro.
See ya. You ain't got enough spray tan to save you. Oh, no.
This end scene with like the rave music going
Oh,
over.
yeah. Bratzo, man. I was hoping he was going to be part of the squad for a minute.
Go off Ariel Kelman.
Mm-hmm.
Somber music's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Wild. But
Oh, is his name Tay?
yeah, wasn't it Tay? Yeah.
See you, bud. You're not with us anymore.
Oh, so apparently this is Home says there's a Star Wars channel video of Mothma dancing for an hour.
Like an officially released?
Yeah, wait there.
We got to see this.
Wait there.
And by the way, she got trashed really quick considering when that droid came out onto the dance floor, it started playing that song. You know what I mean? And then she started taking shots and was wasted while the song was still going on.
Um,
Maybe it's like a 10-minute song, 15-minute song.
Turbo says, agree there needed to be a trigger warning. Andor is the most realistic Star Wars to date, which is why that big scene hits so hard. The tone is very different to the violence in Revenge of the Sith.
Absolutely. Revenge of the Sith is a movie that would have intense violence as a warning, right? Just putting. Now, they may have fixed it by now. I haven't really kept up with it. She's going to be dancing to some Limp Bizkit, I'll tell you right now.
Is it the same? Is it alternate takes?
It's just got to be stuff looped. Let's just watch it for a couple of minutes. Yeah, it's probably just the same thing over and over again. Because if they made her dance for an hour, she earned that paycheck.
No, but
Oh, they would have multiple cameras filming, huh? Wouldn't they?
yeah, they do a lot of takes.
That is true.
Trust me, buddy.
Oh,
I tell you, I saw that lady's hand get cut off in the village like 30 times. It was like
so I've always I wanted to ask you
every
something
time
about
she'd
that.
start talking, like
Mhm.
she'd mouth. It's just like, shut up. You know how this is going to turn out.
So, lady's hand, right, that got cut off. When they shoot that every time, is she holding a prosthetic hand?
So what we're talking about is Kenobi, the scene where
Sorry.
no, that was the Inquisitors when they chop off the villager's hand. So they did all these different takes where like her hand was hidden. Sometimes there was a prosthetic hand,
Oh, so they were getting options.
and then sometimes her hand was there, and like just every different variation
Okay.
from all these different angles. But yeah, she got her hand chopped off like 30 times. Chip chop, chip chop, chip chop. Every
Now-
time, and every time you had to like flip, like, oh,
Let me ask you a question,
hey,
okay?
I'm acting horse. Oh,
You get the call. Hey, man, we got an extra role in Andor season 2 for you.
Mhm.
You just got to come to the UK. Of course you go, right? You're an extra in the Chandrillan wedding, and you got to dance in the background for hours. How's that work out?
I'd be getting in front of Mon Mothma in the camera angle.
Raising the roof.
Yeah, I'd be heading to the bathroom with Perrin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's still going. I'd love to know if it's different or not.
I've seen some repeating, so I think it's
Okay.
was just making me tired watching it for like 3 minutes. I don't do much dancing. That probably should be of no surprise to you. So,
Look at her. Once it hits your lips, it just tastes so good.
Frank the Tank.
Oh, getting a bit mushy there.
Yep. But so, like, you also got to figure for this character, the sense of relief, like, A, you feel kind of bad because old boy is not going to be with us anymore. But also, now you don't have to worry about old boy.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the end was it was so good.
Mm-hmm. Something
Mm-hmm.
that the wedding music going through the scenes, if that's something you had told me, like there's going to be like this big Chandrillan wedding, and there's going to be a song that plays on the dance floor, and it's kind of like, the Star Wars version of like a pop DJ wedding song or something, but that's going to be intercut with Cassian blowing people up in a TIE fighter and finding Bratzo dead and stuff. I couldn't imagine it playing well, but it absolutely does.
I'm captivated by it.
I just the, we also got to give props to George, Uncle George, for casting her for the Revenge of the Sith. That has paid off big time.
Yeah. It sucks that she's not in it though.
It does suck. It does suck that she's not actually in the movie, but
Because like it's cool story.
yeah, but like it has certainly paid off in the modern era. Like the minute they signed on her to come back as Mon Mothma, it's just perfect.
Because she was in like the guides and stuff, yeah. Like the
Hmm.
book and all that sort of.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like she was cut late enough in the game that they didn't have time to take her out of the guides and stuff.
It was my dream to get into one of those guides.
Oh, have they done a
Nah,
visual dictionary for Obi-Wan? What about an art of?
nah.
Really? You know what I just realized is I have the Steelbook 4K release of Kenobi that I haven't watched yet, and I definitely haven't watched any of the behind the scenes stuff that's on there.
Oh, you see me throwing up peace signs.
That are like creeping on Luke when he's looking at he's in the shop or whatever.
Oh, great days, great days. Alrighty, Hawes. Good times.
Yeah,
Tomorrow
bud.
we do it all again.
Yep.
Not
Yep.
the
Soon as I
podcast, but the
soon as I
watching.
get off work, time to watch Andor.
Andor. Would you care to plug your podcast?
Yes, please. Thank you, buddy. So this week on April 30th at 8 p.m. Central, 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern, Will and I are live streaming our 500th episode of Blue Harvest. It'll be on our Twitch channel and on our YouTube channel. And you can just go to blueharvest.rocks for all those links.
Excellent. Congratulations, Hawes.
Thanks, buddy.
And you're doing your special soda report then, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everything should just be just fine.
And then I gotta hope I can still talk about 3 episodes of Andor.
Don't like your chances.
We'll see.
All right. Well, thanks everyone in the chat. Thanks everyone listening onto the pod on the YouTube. But this episode has gone on
long enough.
Yes. So may that force be with you.
See you guys.
You know that soda's going to kill you.
Nah, I've done my research.
I bet you have.
I have. I listen. I looked.
All right.